Hey, what's up, coin fam? In this video, we're going to talk about valuable dimes. Some of these can even be found in pocket change. Let's get right into it. This is a 1964 Roosevelt dime graded mint state 67. This coin has a mint error called a die cap. A die cap is when the coin gets stuck in the die and the edges start to curl up around the die like a bottle cap. This is an obverse die cap because the coin was stuck to the obverse die. No detail can be seen on the back of this dime. This die cap dime sold for $2,640. Prior to 1965, dimes were minted on a planchet made of 90% silver. In 1965, the circulation strike dimes were struck on a copper and nickel-clad planchet. Not this one, though. This is a 1965 Roosevelt dime struck on a silver planchet. It was graded AU58, which means about uncirculated. This is the grade right below mint state. This silver dime sold at auction for over $8,900. In 1965, the U.S. Mint changed the metal composition of the circulated dime from 90% silver to copper and nickel clad. This is called a transition year. It's always good to weigh your transition year coins to see if it was struck on the old planchet. Dimes from 1964 and earlier should weigh 2.5 grams. Copper nickel-clad dimes minted 1965 and later should weigh about 2.27 grams. This 1965 nickel graded mint state 62. It weighed in at 2.5 grams, but the copper nickel planchet should weigh 2.27 grams. Because this dime was minted on the old silver planchet, it sold at auction for $14,400. Here's a rough-looking 1959 Roosevelt dime. This dime is made up of 90% silver because it was minted before 1965. There's no error on this coin, and it doesn't look like it's in good shape. Or does it? Would you believe this dime graded mint state 68? The discoloration is natural toning, and that doesn't affect the grade. It was even given the full band designation. It's a good thing this dime wasn't cleaned. It would have severely affected the value of the coin. This dime sold at auction for $8,812. Talk about toning. The orange, red, and purple on the front and back of this dime look awesome. This silver dime was minted in 1955 at the Philadelphia Mint. It graded mint state 68 on a scale from 1 to 70 by PCGS. This Roosevelt dime sold at Heritage Auction for $9,300. In 1996, to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt dime, 1.4 million dimes were minted at the West Point Mint, and they proudly display the W Mint mark. These dimes can rarely be found in circulation because they were only minted as part of the 1996 uncirculated set. According to PCGS, the highest West Point dime graded was mint state 69 and is valued at about $400. Here's a 1996 West Point dime that sold at auction for $411.24. How about this 1997 Denver minted dime? This one graded mint state 68 and has the full bands designation. There's no doubt about how well struck the reverse of this dime is. This one sold at auction for $2,160. That's a lot of money for near-perfect dimes, but you can make money with error dimes if you're lucky enough and if you know what to look for. Here's a pretty cool error dime I found on eBay. You really need to be careful if you're buying on eBay. Make sure you know exactly what you're looking at. eBay is full of misidentified coins and errors. A lot of them are just plain fraud. This one's legit though. This is a 1998 Philadelphia minted Roosevelt dime, and it looks like the Cookie Monster got a hold of this one. There's a huge piece of it missing. This is called a clip planchet, or an incomplete planchet. A clip planchet occurs when a planchet isn't cut out of the strip of metal properly. In some cases, a clip planchet can happen when the struck coin isn't properly ejected from the coining process. This one is listed for $500, and it's been graded and slabbed, but I don't think it's going to sell for that much money. Take a look at this mint error dime. This is a 1973 Proof 68 Ultra Cameo dime minted in San Francisco. This dime was struck 3 times with clashed dies. A clash die is a die that comes into contact with another die when no planchet is loaded for minting. This can result in the dies damaging each other by pressing details from one die onto the other die or dies. When clash dies mint coins, you can see the detail from the opposing die that has been transferred to the opposite die. If you look closely, you can see some of the detail from the opposing die on both sides of this dime. This dime sold for $3,840.
Error coins are fun to look for, and a lot of times they're obviously different and easily identifiable as more valuable. This isn't the case with real collectible coins like this one right here. This dime may not look like much. It's a 1999 Denver minted Roosevelt dime. It was graded Mint State 69 FB. FB, or full bands, is a designation referring to the two sets of bands around the torch on the reverse of this dime. This picture is too blurry to see the bands. Here's a better one. To qualify for this designation, the coin must grade at least MS60, show full separation between the upper and lower horizontal bands on the torch, and show no significant cuts or marks across the horizontal bands. The image on the left does not qualify for full bands, but the image on the right does qualify for the FB designation. This dime sold at auction for $1,800. Here's a 1994 Denver minted dime. This one was graded Mint State 68 on a scale from 1 to 70, and it has a full bands designation. You can see some of the bag marks from coins banging into it on the surface of the dime. Here's the reverse or back of the coin. The top bands look great, but it looks like the bottom band line is obscured by a scratch on the case. This Mint State 68 clad dime sold for $1,680.
Here's an odd one. There's no date on this one because it was covered up when somehow it found its way between two penny dies. The Lincoln cent was struck over top of the dime off-center about 75% on both the front and the back of the dime. This oddity sold at auction for $2,300.
Here's a silver 1956 Roosevelt dime. It's a really good-looking coin, and the toning on it is cool AF. There's no toning on the back, but it does have a healthy set of FB right there. Look at those full bands. This silver dime is actually the finest graded dime for this year and mint mark that PCGS graded, and that adds to a lot of value. It came in at a Mint State 68 on a scale from 1 to 70, and this silver dime brought in $9,987 at auction. This is a 1972 San Francisco minted proof coin. Proof coins are specifically made for collectors. They have a shiny finish, and they're minted with more pressure for a more crisp look. This dime was double struck. It doesn't look like it lined up properly in the press since both strikes are off-center. This dime should have been included in a proof set, but somehow it made it out of the mint. It was graded proof 65 on a scale from 1 to 70, and it sold at auction for $1,800. Here's our next rare dime. This is a good-looking piece. It's a 1964 Denver minted Roosevelt dime, and this one is a DDR, a double die reverse. The die that was created to mint this dime shifted in between hub strikes that caused doubling of some of the features on the reverse die. Any coin struck with this reverse die should show the same doubling. This DDR was actually shown in the Cherry Picker's Guide. The doubling is most evident on the word America. You can't tell much because of the picture quality. Here's a picture of a different coin with the same error from PCGS. The doubling is much more obvious. This 1964 Denver minted Roosevelt dime graded Mint State 65 and was given the DDR FS 803 designation. It sold at auction for over $2,500.
$2,880 is what you can expect to be paid if you sell one of these dimes right here. This is a 1980 Denver minted dime. It graded Mint State 66 with the full band designation. This coin is only 4 grades shy of the highest grade of 70 on the Sheldon coin grading scale. This dime doesn't have a date because it was struck between 2 reverse dies. Another example of mint mischief going on at the U.S. Mint. This dime was graded by PCGS and came in at a Mint State 64. It sold for $26,400.
Hit that thumbs up button and make sure to share the video on social media. Thanks for watching.